How you spend your time decides how you live your life. That's not just a statement, it's the hard truth. Every minute you waste is a piece of your future you give away. And every minute you use wisely is a step toward the success you keep saying you want. The problem is, most people don't realize how much time they lose until it's already gone. Days turn into weeks. Weeks turn into months. And suddenly, the life they wanted feels out of reach. This audiobook is not for people who want to stay the same. This is for the one who's ready to fix their habits, sharpen their focus, and finally take control. You're going to learn how to manage your mornings, how to protect your nights, how to cut distractions, and how to build a weekly system that actually works. This is your life. This is your time. Use it right, and everything will change. Miss this, and nothing will. Stay with this to the end. You'll never look at time the same way again. Chapter 1. Plan tomorrow tonight, so you wake with direction. When the day is over and the noise settles down, that is the time to prepare yourself for tomorrow. Most people close their eyes at night without any idea of what they will face in the morning. They hope the day will bring something good, but hope is not enough when it comes to success. If you want a strong tomorrow, you must prepare tonight. You must decide where your time will go before the sun rises again. Planning tomorrow tonight gives you control over your direction, your energy, and your results. Without it, you drift, and drifting never leads to success. Think about how powerful it feels when you wake up knowing exactly what you need to do. There is no confusion, no wasted energy trying to figure it out. Your mind is calm, your body is ready, and your focus is sharp. That clarity comes only when you spend a few minutes at the end of your day mapping out the next one. Human psychology shows us that the brain rests better when it knows there is a plan in place. You fall asleep with peace because tomorrow is already set, and you wake up with energy because you know what matters most. The truth is, every person has 24 hours, but not everyone uses them wisely. Some wake up with no plan and lose half the day before they even get started. They check their phone, scroll, talk without purpose, and before they know it, the day is gone. On the other hand, those who plan tomorrow tonight wake up with an agenda. They know which tasks deserve attention, which meetings are important, and where to spend their effort. The difference is not the hours they have, but the choices they make with those hours. If you want success, begin with the small discipline of writing your plan for the next day before you go to sleep. Take 10 minutes to think clearly. Ask yourself, what is the single most important task tomorrow that will move me closer to my goals? Write it down. Then decide the top 3 things you must complete no matter what. Keep it simple. Don't overload yourself with 20 tasks. The mind performs best when it has clarity, not chaos. Picture this. You sit quietly at night, maybe with a notebook, maybe with a simple piece of paper. You write the first task, the second, and the third. You review your schedule. You make sure your clothes are ready, your desk is clean, and your tools are prepared. You close your day with intention, and when morning comes, there is no decision fatigue. You do not waste time thinking about what to do first. You already know. That single habit will change how you use your time forever. Human psychology also tells us something important. The mind craves certainty. Without a plan, your brain wakes up in stress mode. You think about too many things at once and end up doing none of them well. But when you plan tomorrow tonight, you give your brain the certainty it needs. You train your thoughts to follow direction instead of distraction. You protect your focus before the day even starts. This is not about perfection. It is about preparation. If you write down your plan tonight and tomorrow does not go exactly the way you wanted, that is fine. Life will always bring surprises. But even with surprises, you will be ahead because you started with intention. You can adjust during the day, but the foundation is already set. Without that foundation, you are left reacting to everything around you, and reaction wastes time. You might ask, why does planning tomorrow tonight work so well? The answer is simple. It aligns your mind and your actions. At night, you review what happened today. You see where you used your time wisely and where you wasted it. You take that reflection and build a better plan for tomorrow. This creates a loop of growth. Reflection at night, execution in the morning, progress during the day. Do this again and again, and you will not just spend time wisely, you will master it. Imagine how it feels to wake up without worry. No need to scroll your phone to find direction. No need to panic about what's next. You simply begin. That emotional calm is priceless. It gives you confidence, and confidence grows when you trust yourself to follow through. Every night you plan tomorrow, you are teaching yourself discipline. You are proving that your goals matter enough to prepare for them. That is how resilience is built, and resilience is what carries you through challenges. Another powerful benefit of planning tomorrow tonight is how it improves your sleep. Many people toss and turn with thoughts running through their head. They think about unfinished tasks, forgotten errands, and endless worries. By writing tomorrow's plan, you empty those thoughts onto paper. You tell your mind, it's handled. Your brain no longer needs to repeat the same thoughts through the night. Instead, it rests, and deep rest means better energy tomorrow. Better energy means better decisions. Better decisions mean better results. Now think about success not as one big achievement, but as a collection of small, wise uses of time. One night of planning might not change your life, but do it for 30 nights in a row, and you will see the difference. Your mornings will be stronger, your days more productive, and your evenings filled with pride, because you actually used your hours well. That consistency separates those who dream from those who achieve. I want you to feel the urgency of this. Every day wasted is a piece of your life you cannot get back. Time is the one resource you can never earn again. That is why planning tomorrow tonight is not optional if you want success. It is the starting point of control. It is the signal you send to yourself that your life matters, that your goals matter, that you refuse to drift without direction. Spend time each night reviewing the people you spoke with, the work you did, the time you lost, and the time you used well. Then, shape tomorrow based on what you learned. If you wasted hours today, decide you will not repeat it tomorrow. If you found progress in a certain activity, schedule more of it tomorrow. This self-awareness builds strength because you are learning from your own psychology. You are holding yourself accountable. Some people will argue they don't have time to plan. That excuse is weak. 10 minutes at night saves hours tomorrow. If you think you don't have time to plan, it means you are already losing more time than you realize. The successful person does not look for excuses, they look for strategies. And this strategy of planning tomorrow tonight is one of the simplest yet most powerful you will ever use. There is also a hidden reward in this practice. When you finish your plan, you feel a sense of closure. The day is done, and you can rest knowing you ended it with purpose. That emotional satisfaction is small but powerful. It keeps you motivated, and motivation grows when you know you are moving forward, even if the steps are small. As you practice this discipline, you will also notice something else. You become more selective with your time. Because you plan tomorrow tonight, you know exactly how valuable each hour island. You stop saying yes to things that waste your time. You stop surrounding yourself with distractions. You start choosing actions that build your success. That is human psychology in action. Planning gives you awareness, and awareness shapes better choices. Remember, success is not built on chance. It is built on daily habits. And this is one of the greatest habits you can ever develop. Plan tomorrow tonight. Write down your goals, prepare your tools, set your direction, close your day with intention, and open the next with confidence. If you do this, your life will move forward faster than you ever imagined. You don't need more hours in the day. You need to use the ones you have with wisdom. And wisdom starts with preparation. Tonight, when the day ends, sit down and plan. Make tomorrow yours before it even arrives. That is how you spend your time wisely for success. That is how you live a life of discipline, clarity, and achievement. Chapter 2. Use first hours of morning for important progress. The first hours of the morning decide more about your success than most people realize. When the world is still quiet and the day is just beginning, you hold the greatest chance to shape your direction. Many people use these early hours carelessly. They scroll through their phone, watch meaningless videos, or wander aimlessly without purpose. By the time they start meaningful work, half the day is already gone. Those who achieve real progress understand that the first hours are the foundation of everything that follows. If you spend them wisely, you create momentum. If you waste them, the rest of the day feels heavy, scattered, and unproductive. Human psychology tells us that our energy, focus, and willpower are at their peak in the morning. Your brain is rested after sleep, your body has recovered, and your attention is strongest before distractions appear. This is why the most successful people in the world guard their mornings with discipline. They do not leave these hours to chance. They use them to move closer to their most important goals. When you learn to protect these hours, you unlock a level of progress that cannot be achieved in the afternoon or late at night. Ask yourself what matters most in your life right now. It could be your career, your health, your education, or your personal development. Whatever it is, commit your first hours to it. If your health matters, use the morning for exercise. If your mind matters, use the morning for study or reflection. If your career matters, use the morning for the most difficult and valuable task. What matters is not the specific action, but the fact that you dedicate your sharpest energy to what truly moves you forward. Imagine waking up before the noise begins. The air is still, the phone is silent, and no one demands your attention. In this quiet space, you sit down and focus on the one task that will make the most difference. You give it your best thought, your best effort, and your best energy. By the time others are just beginning their day, you already hold progress in your hands. That sense of accomplishment carries you through the rest of the day with confidence. You do not chase after success. You begin with it. This practice is not only about productivity, it is also about self-respect. When you use your first hours for important progress, you are sending yourself a message. My goals matter, my time matters, my future matters. Each morning becomes a statement of discipline and belief in your own potential. That emotional commitment builds resilience because it reminds you daily why you are working hard. Success is not built in one dramatic action. It is built in these repeated, consistent choices to value your time. Most people think they do not have time. They claim the day is too busy or their schedule too full. But look closely at their mornings. They spend 30 minutes checking messages, another 30 wandering around, another hour lost in distractions. The truth is, they have the time, they simply do not choose to use it well. The discipline of guarding your first hours is not about adding time to your day. It is about reclaiming what is already there. You do not need to make this complicated. Begin by waking up slightly earlier. Give yourself an extra hour that belongs only to you. Before you answer to anyone else, give that hour to your most important task. If it is writing, write. If it is learning, read. If it is building a business, work on your plan. Remove every unnecessary distraction during this time. Keep your phone away. keep your environment clean, and keep your focus sharp. That 1 hour will create more value than several wasted hours later in the day. When you consistently use your first hours for progress, you also train your mind to expect results. Each morning becomes proof that you are capable of moving forward. This builds self-trust, which is one of the most powerful forms of confidence. You no longer doubt whether you can change your life, you are changing it each morning. That psychological shift is life-changing. It gives you a sense of control, and control over your time equals control over your future. You may notice how different you feel when you use the morning for progress compared to when you waste it. On the days you waste it, you often feel behind, guilty, and distracted. On the days you use it wisely, you feel ahead, clear, and strong. That emotional contrast is a teacher. Pay attention to it. Let it remind you of the power you hold in your choices. If you want to feel proud and energized, the solution is simple. Use your mornings wisely. The first hours are also the best time to think clearly. Without noise and demands, your thoughts are more organized. You can reflect on your goals, adjust your direction, and plan your steps. This mental clarity is harder to find once the day is filled with interruptions. That is why morning routines often include journaling, meditation, or planning. These practices sharpen your mind before the chaos begins. They prepare you to handle the rest of the day with strength instead of stress. There is also a biological reason mornings matter. Your brain's prefrontal cortex, responsible for decision-making and focus, functions best after rest. As the day goes on, decision fatigue builds, and your ability to focus weakens. That is why the late afternoon often feels heavy and unproductive. By working on important progress in the morning, you are aligning your efforts with how your brain naturally operates. You are working with your biology instead of against it. Consider this. If you spend 2 hours each morning on meaningful progress, that equals over 700 hours in a year. 700 hours directed at your most important goals will transform your life in ways you cannot even imagine. That is the hidden compound effect of this discipline. The small choice to use your first hours wisely multiplies into massive results over time. Do not underestimate the emotional reward either. When you finish meaningful work in the morning, the rest of your day feels lighter. You walk with confidence because you already achieved something important. You are not chasing productivity, you are living it. That inner pride strengthens your mood, your relationships, and your overall sense of control. People around you notice the difference because success creates an energy that cannot be hidden. The discipline of morning progress also prepares you for challenges. Life will always bring difficulties, but when you start your day with strength, you face them differently. You do not feel crushed by problems because you already built progress in your own hands. That momentum gives you resilience. You remind yourself, I am not falling behind. I am still moving forward. That mindset separates those who break under pressure from those who grow stronger through it. Many great lives have been built on this simple rule. Use your mornings for what matters most. Do not give these hours away to meaningless activity. Do not trade them for entertainment that leaves you empty. Use them to build, to learn, to grow. Use them to shape your future. If you can discipline yourself to do this, you will gain more advantage than most people around you, because most people are still asleep while you are building your life. At the end of the day, the question is not whether you have enough time. The question is whether you will respect the time you already have. The first hours are yours to command. They are a gift given to you each morning, and how you use them decides the quality of your life. Spend them on progress, and you will feel the strength of direction. Waste them, and you will carry regret. The choice is always in your hands. If you truly want success, stop waiting for the perfect moment. The perfect moment is the morning, That is when your mind is strongest, your body is ready, and your time is most valuable. Protect it, use it, and watch how your life begins to change. When you master your mornings, you master your life.
Chapter 3. Limit time with people who slow your growth. Every person you allow into your daily life either moves you closer to your goals or pulls you further away from them. Human beings are influenced more than they realize by the company they keep. The conversations you hear, the attitudes you absorb, and the behaviors you witness all leave a mark on your thinking. If you want to grow, you must be careful about who you give your time to. Time is not just minutes on a clock, it is energy, focus, and emotion. If you spend too much of it with people who slow your growth, you will feel heavy, distracted, and discouraged. Success requires clarity, and clarity often begins with limiting the influence of those who hold you back. Think of the people around you as the environment you live in. Just like a plant grows faster in good soil, you grow faster in the right environment. When you spend time with people who complain constantly, who discourage effort, who live without goals, that becomes your environment. You may not notice the effect immediately, but slowly you begin to lower your standards. You stop expecting more of yourself because the people around you do not expect more of themselves. Psychology proves that human beings conform to the group they spend the most time with. This is why you must protect your time from those who slow your progress. Limiting time with the wrong people does not mean you hate them or treat them badly. It means you choose your priorities wisely. Your future deserves your protection. If someone drains your energy every time you meet them, that is time stolen from your growth. If someone constantly fills your mind with doubt or negativity, that is a distraction from your path. You cannot allow every voice into your head. You must filter carefully. The people who deserve the most of your time are those who push you forward, not those who keep you stuck. There is a deep emotional cost to surrounding yourself with people who do not grow. You begin to feel trapped in conversations that go nowhere. You hear the same complaints repeated day after day. You watch the same bad habits repeated without change. That creates frustration inside you, but worse, it normalizes failure. When you accept this environment, you are training your brain to believe that mediocrity is acceptable. Once you accept it, you start living it. That is why it is so important to limit the hours you give to these relationships. Now, limiting time does not always mean cutting people off completely. In real life, some of those who slow your growth may be family members, co-workers, or long-time friends. Removing them entirely may not be possible, but you can control how much space they take in your life. If you cannot avoid them, reduce the time you spend with them. If you must meet them, prepare your mind so their negativity does not enter you. Protect your focus by reminding yourself of your values before and after you engage. This way, you limit their influence even when you cannot eliminate it. Your progress depends heavily on the energy you carry. When you spend time with people who move slowly, who make excuses, who refuse to improve, their energy clings to you. You may leave the conversation feeling drained, unmotivated, or doubtful. Notice how you feel after spending time with someone. If you feel weaker, more negative, or less focused, that is a sign. Your emotions are telling you that this person is slowing your growth. Pay attention to those signals. They are warnings that your time is being wasted. Success requires courage, and one of the hardest acts of courage is reducing time with people who do not grow. Sometimes you care deeply about them, but you must still choose your path. Caring does not mean sacrificing your future. The best thing you can do for others is to grow yourself. When you succeed, you create an example. When you remain stuck with them, you prove nothing can change. Limiting time is not selfish, it is responsible. You owe it to your goals, your family, and your own potential. You may fear judgment when you begin limiting your time. Some will call you distant, some will say you have changed, and some will feel hurt. Remember, the people who value you will respect your decision. The ones who resist are usually the ones most invested in keeping you the same. Do not let their discomfort pull you back. Growth requires separation from those who refuse to move forward. If you stay tied to their pace, you accept their future instead of creating your own. Consider how powerful your growth can be when you shift your environment. Imagine spending less time with people who waste hours and more time with those who use hours wisely. Imagine leaving behind endless complaining conversations and stepping into discussions about goals, solutions, and strategy. Imagine replacing negative energy with encouragement, learning, and accountability. This change will transform your progress faster than any single book, tool, or program. The people around you shape your daily standards. Change the company, and you change your standard. Every successful person has made this choice. They guarded their time carefully, limited exposure to those who slowed them, and increased exposure to those who inspired them. They knew that their mind is too valuable to fill with gossip, doubt, and excuses. You must make the same decision. Think of your time as an investment. Would you invest money in something that never grows? Of course not. Then why invest hours of your life in people who refuse to grow? Be wise with your investment. Place it where it produces progress. When you begin limiting time with the wrong people, you will feel lighter. You will notice more mental clarity, more energy, and more motivation. You will begin to fill that space with better influences, books, mentors, uplifting conversations, meaningful projects. You will notice that your mind feels less clouded, and your direction feels more certain. That emotional relief is one of the strongest proofs that you are making the right choice. You cannot grow in a heavy environment. Once you limit it, you give yourself room to breathe and move forward. Do not confuse loyalty with sacrifice. You do not prove loyalty by slowing down your growth to match someone else's lack of progress. You prove loyalty by living to your highest potential and becoming someone they can look up to. Sometimes the best way to help those who slow your growth is to show them what growth looks like. But you cannot show them if you stay stuck beside them. You must rise first, and that means limiting your time until you have built enough strength to influence them instead of being influenced by them. It is also important to understand that limiting time does not always mean reducing contact to zero. It means being intentional. For example, if you have a friend who spends hours talking about nothing valuable, cut that down to shorter, focused interactions. If you have coworkers who gossip endlessly, keep your exchanges professional and brief. If you have relatives who discourage your dreams, share less of your vision with them. Protect your goals by controlling how much access others have to your mind. This is your responsibility. Over time, you will see how these choices reshape your life. You will find more time to work on your goals, more energy to pursue your passions, and more courage to stay disciplined. Limiting time with those who slow you down does not mean isolating yourself. It means creating space for better influence. You will naturally attract people who share your values and ambitions when you no longer spend all your time with those who do not. This is how your environment improves. Your growth is too important to risk on the wrong company. If someone does not value progress, let them walk their path, but do not let them decide yours. Respect them, but respect yourself more. Respect your goals, your time, and your potential. When you take this step, you prove to yourself that your life matters enough to protect it. And when you protect your growth, success begins to feel not only possible but inevitable. The hardest part is often the first step, but once you start, you will realize how much freedom you gain. You will see how much stronger you feel when you no longer carry the weight of people who hold you back. You will notice that the more you limit time with the wrong people, the more you naturally rise into the person you want to become. That is the power of choice. That is the discipline of growth. Your future is being shaped right now by the people you spend your hours with. Make sure those hours are not wasted. Make sure they are invested in growth, not drained by stagnation. The people who slow your growth may always exist, but they do not have to control your direction. Choose wisely, limit carefully, and give yourself the freedom to build the life you deserve.
Chapter 4. Track your screen. Use and replace waste with learning. Everywhere you look today, screens demand your attention. Phones, laptops, televisions, tablets, each one pulling at you with endless notifications, entertainment and distractions. Technology is not the enemy, but how you use it will either help you build your future or rob you of it. The truth is, many people are losing years of their life one scroll at a time. They check their phone in the morning and lose the first hour. They sit down to work, and half the time disappears into apps and feeds. By the end of the week, dozens of hours are gone without producing anything valuable. This is not just wasted time, it is wasted opportunity, wasted energy, and wasted potential. If you want success, you must take control of your screen use. You must track it, measure it, and replace the waste with something that actually moves your life forward. Human psychology shows us that what gets measured gets improved. If you never track your screen time, you will underestimate it. Most people think they spend an hour or two per day on their phone. The truth is often 4, 5, or even more. That adds up to more than 1,000 hours in a year. Time that could have been spent learning a new skill, building a business, strengthening relationships, or improving health. The first step is awareness. Start by tracking exactly how much time you spend on your screens and where that time goes. Do not guess. Use the tools built into your phone or apps designed for this purpose. Look at the hard numbers. They will shock you, but the shock is good. It wakes you up. Once you see the numbers, you begin to understand where your future is slipping away. You might find hours wasted on social media, endless videos, or mindless browsing. Ask yourself honestly, did that time help you grow? Did it build your skills, expand your knowledge, or strengthen your mind? If the answer is no, you know what must change. It is not about eliminating screens entirely. It is about replacing the waste with learning. Your phone can be a powerful tool for success if you use it wisely. The same screen that drains hours with meaningless scrolling can deliver audiobooks, online courses, and inspiring talks. The same device that distracts you can also educate you if you make the decision. Think about this. If you replace just one wasted hour per day with focused learning, you would have 365 hours in a year dedicated to improvement. That is the equivalent of a full university course or the mastery of a valuable skill. Imagine what that would do for your career, your confidence, and your future. The problem is not that you lack time. The problem is how you choose to spend it. If you want to live wisely, you must choose learning over distraction. Start with small, simple changes. Instead of opening social media the moment you wake up, open a book or listen to a podcast that teaches you something useful. Instead of wasting your commute on meaningless noise, fill it with learning that grows your mind. Instead of spending 2 hours at night staring at screens, spend one of those hours studying a subject that builds your future. This does not mean you cannot relax or enjoy entertainment. It means you discipline yourself to invest more time into what pays back instead of what leaves you empty. Pay close attention to how you feel after different types of screen use. When you waste time scrolling, you often feel tired, distracted, and guilty. When you use the same time to learn something valuable, you feel energized, proud, and motivated. That emotional difference is powerful. It teaches you the truth. Learning builds self-respect, while wasting time destroys it. If you want to feel good about yourself, feed your mind with knowledge. Replace shallow consumption with deep growth.
Technology is neutral. It becomes good or bad depending on your habits. The people who succeed are those who turn their devices into tools for growth. They use their phones to connect with mentors, to study, to build, to practice, to share meaningful work. The people who fail are those who use their phones only for distraction, gossip, and entertainment. The device is the same, but the outcome is completely different. Success comes from discipline, and discipline is shown by how you spend your screen time. Do not underestimate the danger of wasted screen use. Every app you open is designed to keep you hooked, to steal your attention, to make you stay longer. The algorithms are not built for your growth. They are built to profit from your time. That means you must fight back with awareness and control. Track your use daily. Check how many hours you gave away. Ask yourself if that trade was worth it. If the answer is no, change it the next day. Each day is another chance to take control. Imagine what your life would look like if you mastered this one discipline. Instead of 4 wasted hours per day, you invested 2 of them into learning. That would give you over 700 hours per year of progress. You could learn a language, develop professional skills, read dozens of books, or train your body with that time. You could transform your income, your confidence, and your opportunities, and all of that comes from simply replacing waste with learning. Some will say they need their screens to relax, but true relaxation comes from balance, not overuse. Spending 5 hours lost in distractions does not relax the mind, it numbs it. Real rest comes from intentional breaks, exercise, deep conversations, and meaningful hobbies. When you use your screens consciously, you create space for real rest and real progress. The key is not to eliminate, but to control. Use your devices for learning first, and entertainment second. That way, even your relaxation feels earned and purposeful. You must also create boundaries with your screen. Decide specific times to check messages, specific hours to study, and specific limits for entertainment. If you leave it to chance, the screen will consume you. Self-control grows when you set rules for yourself and follow them. For example, no screens during meals, no meaningless browsing before bed, no notifications during focused work. These simple boundaries protect your time and energy. Over time they become habits, and habits build discipline. The greatest benefit of tracking your screen use and replacing waste with learning is the person you become in the process. You become someone who values growth over distraction. You become someone who respects time. You become someone who others look at and say, this person is disciplined, this person is focused, this person is serious about success. That identity is powerful. It gives you pride, and pride fuels motivation to continue. Success is built on small choices repeated daily. Tracking your screen use is a small choice. Replacing waste with learning is a small choice. But together, they shape your future in ways most people never experience. Every hour invested in learning today pays you back tomorrow with knowledge, skills, and opportunity. Every hour wasted disappears forever. The difference between those who achieve and those who regret is how they spend those hours. You cannot control everything in life, but you can control how you use your screen. You can choose to let them consume you, or you can choose to make them your greatest tool. The choice is yours each day. Do not wait until years are gone to realize how much time you wasted. Take control now. Track your use today. Replace 1 hour of waste with learning tonight. Build the habit slowly until it becomes part of who you are. When you discipline yourself in this way, you will feel stronger, sharper, and more capable. Your mind will expand, your confidence will rise, and your future will open with new possibilities. That is the reward of respecting your screen time. It is not about saying no to entertainment. It is about saying yes to growth. And when you choose growth, success becomes not just possible, but certain. Chapter 5. Schedule daily thinking time to improve clear decisions. Most people live their lives moving from one demand to another without ever stopping to think. They rush from work to home, from one task to the next, constantly reacting to situations instead of directing them. The result is confusion, stress, and poor choices. If you want to live with clarity and make decisions that truly improve your life, you must schedule daily thinking time. This is not about sitting in endless reflection with no action. It is about creating a quiet space each day to step back, review, and make deliberate choices. Without this practice, you repeat the same mistakes, waste the same hours, and fall into the same traps. With it, you sharpen your judgment, strengthen your focus, and guide your life instead of drifting. Daily thinking time is powerful because it gives you distance from the noise. When you step away from constant activity, your mind is free to process experiences, examine your behavior, and search for better answers. It is during these quiet moments that new insights appear. You begin to see patterns in your actions, connections between your choices, and solutions to problems that seemed impossible when you were caught up in the rush. Your brain is not just made for work, it is made for reflection. Ignoring that need leaves you blind. Honoring it makes you wise. The habit of daily thinking time also prevents impulsive decisions. Without reflection, you react to situations based on emotion, pressure, or habit. That often leads to regret. By taking time each day to think, you give yourself a chance to step back, evaluate options, and choose with clarity. Think of the difference between someone who rushes to answer every situation and someone who takes time to reflect before acting. One lives in constant mistakes, the other builds a strong foundation for success. The strength of your decisions shapes the strength of your life, and clear decisions require scheduled thinking. To practice this, choose a specific time each day. It could be early in the morning before the world wakes up, or in the evening when the day is winding down. Make it consistent. During this time, remove all distractions. No phone, no television, no conversations. Sit quietly with a notebook or simply with your thoughts. Ask yourself questions. What went well today? What could I have done better? What decision do I need to make tomorrow? What is the best use of my time next week? These questions direct your mind toward clarity. Write your answers down. Writing helps you organize thoughts and prevents them from fading away. When you build this routine, you will notice a change in how you feel. Your mind will feel lighter because you are no longer carrying a jumble of thoughts throughout the day. You will feel calmer because decisions are no longer rushed. You will feel more confident because you have thought carefully before acting. This emotional stability is one of the greatest rewards of daily thinking. It makes you less reactive to stress and more proactive in your growth. You stop being surprised by life and start preparing for it. Consider how poor decisions have cost you in the past. Maybe you agreed to something you should have refused. Maybe you invested time in the wrong project. Maybe you reacted with emotion instead of reason. All of these could have been avoided if you had taken time to think first. Daily thinking time is like a shield against unnecessary mistakes. It allows you to examine your choices before they become actions. Over months and years, this habit saves you from countless regrets and replaces them with progress. Human psychology tells us that the brain solves problems even when we are not aware of it. By setting aside time for reflection, you give your brain permission to work on challenges in the background. You may sit quietly with a question in mind, and the answer will come, not in that moment but hours later, because you gave it attention earlier. Without reflection, those answers remain buried under noise. Thinking time clears the space for solutions to rise. That is why some of the best ideas come during a walk, a shower, or a quiet evening. The brain needs space, and you must schedule it deliberately. The discipline of thinking time also helps you align your actions with your values. In the rush of daily life, it is easy to forget what truly matters. You chase tasks and distractions, forgetting your larger purpose. Reflection brings you back. It reminds you of your goals, your priorities, and the bigger picture. Each day you check if your actions matched your values. If they did not, you adjust. This alignment is what creates a life of meaning rather than a life of noise. Another important benefit is long-term vision. Without reflection, you are stuck in the present moment, reacting to whatever is in front of you. With daily thinking time, you step back and see further ahead. You begin to plan weeks, months, even years into the future. This ability to think long-term separates the average from the exceptional. Those who do not reflect live day by day, always behind. Those who reflect build step by step towards something greater. The ability to think long-term comes only when you practice it regularly. And scheduling daily thinking is how you train it. You might worry that spending time in thought is unproductive, but nothing is more productive than making better decisions. A single clear decision can save you from months of wasted effort. A single insight can redirect your time towards something that multiplies your success. Thinking is not a waste of time, it is an investment that pays back in clarity, energy and direction. Without it, you may spend years working hard on the wrong path. With it, you choose wisely and move faster toward your goal. When you practice this discipline consistently, you also improve your ability to handle pressure. In stressful situations, people without reflection panic. People with the habit of thinking remain calm because they have trained their mind to step back before reacting. They know how to pause, evaluate, and then decide. That pause is the difference between a rash mistake and a wise choice. Over time, this skill becomes automatic, and you carry it into every area of your life: work, relationships, health, and personal growth. One of the best ways to use thinking time is to review your own behavior. Ask yourself, did I use my time wisely today? Did I speak in a way that supported my goals? Did I let emotions guide me instead of reason? By reviewing daily, you correct mistakes quickly. You do not wait for years to pass before noticing them. This feedback loop accelerates growth because you are constantly learning from your own actions. It is like running daily tests on your life and improving based on results. You can also use this time for gratitude. Think about what went right today, who supported you, and what progress you made. Gratitude sharpens your perspective and reduces negativity. It reminds you that even in difficult times, you are still moving forward. This positive mindset strengthens decision-making because you are not clouded by bitterness or fear. Instead, you see opportunities clearly and act with confidence. To make this habit powerful, keep it consistent. Do not think of it as optional. Treat it as important as eating or sleeping. Even 15 minutes a day can transform how you live. Over a year, that is more than 90 hours of reflection, 90 hours of improved decisions, better focus, and stronger clarity. Imagine the difference between someone who never reflects and someone who spends 90 hours improving their choices each year. The gap in results becomes enormous. In the end, success is not just about how hard you work, but about how clearly you decide. Daily thinking time ensures your hard work is directed at the right goals. It saves you from chasing distractions, from following the wrong path, from wasting years. It gives you wisdom, and wisdom is what turns effort into success. If you want a stronger future, do not just fill your schedule with work. Fill it with reflection. Make room each day to stop, think, and choose with clarity. Your decisions shape your destiny, and your decisions become stronger when you give yourself time to think. Schedule it, honor it, and practice it. Over time, you will notice the difference in your confidence, your progress, and your peace of mind. You will stop living in confusion and start living with direction. That is the power of daily thinking time.
Chapter 6. Set deadlines for tasks to avoid endless delay. One of the greatest reasons people never reach their goals is not because they lack talent or resources. It is because they keep delaying. They say they will do it tomorrow, they will start next week, or they will finish it when they feel ready. The problem with this approach is that tomorrow never comes in the way they imagine. Waiting becomes a habit, and delay becomes their lifestyle. If you want to achieve real progress, you must break this pattern. The way to do it is simple but powerful. Set deadlines for your tasks. Deadlines create urgency,
and urgency pushes you to act. Without deadlines you drift, but with deadlines you direct your time toward completion. Every task in life has two possible outcomes. It gets done, or it gets delayed until it disappears. People underestimate how quickly delay kills momentum. You think a task postponed by one day is harmless, but that day turns into a week into a month, and soon the opportunity is gone. Deadlines protect you from this trap by giving each task a finish line. When you see the finish line, you move faster. When there is no finish line, you wander without purpose. Human psychology reveals that the mind responds to clear boundaries. If you give yourself unlimited time to complete something, your brain takes it lightly. It does not create focus because there is no consequence. On the other hand, when you set a specific deadline, your mind becomes alert. You feel pressure, but it is the kind of pressure that forces action. The deadline tells your brain this matters, this must be done, and this must be done now. That urgency pulls your energy and attention into motion. Think of how students often behave. Many wait until the night before an exam or the last week before a project is due. Suddenly they are able to focus, push through distractions, and work with intensity. The work gets done because the deadline is non-negotiable. Imagine applying that same principle to your personal life and goals. If you gave yourself deadlines instead of leaving tasks open-ended, you would complete far more in less time. The truth is, most of the work you postpone for weeks could be done in hours if you gave yourself a deadline. The discipline of setting deadlines is not about rushing blindly. It is about giving your tasks structure. A task without a deadline is like a ship without a destination. It floats aimlessly. A task with a deadline has a port to reach, and the energy goes into moving there. Every goal you have, whether big or small, must be broken into tasks, and each of those tasks must have a deadline. This is how you turn vision into reality. Without deadlines, dreams remain dreams. With deadlines, they become actions. There is also an emotional benefit to setting deadlines. When you complete a task on time, you feel a sense of pride and relief. That builds momentum. You prove to yourself that you are capable of discipline. Each completed deadline strengthens your confidence and makes you more eager to face the next challenge. On the other hand, when you leave tasks without deadlines, they pile up in your mind. You carry the weight of unfinished work everywhere, and it drains your energy. The constant thought of "I'll do it later" eats at your self-respect. But when you finish tasks on time, you feel lighter, freer, and stronger. It is important to set realistic deadlines. If you choose dates that are impossible, you set yourself up for failure. Deadlines should stretch you, but they should not break you. For example, if you know a project takes 10 hours, do not give yourself 2, but also do not give yourself 20. Find the balance that creates urgency without making the task overwhelming. With practice, you will learn to set deadlines that push you forward at the right pace. You must also learn to respect your own deadlines. Many people set them, but then they ignore them. They treat them as suggestions instead of commitments. If you do this, deadlines lose their power. You must see your deadlines as promises to yourself. When you say you will finish by Friday, it is not negotiable. It is a commitment. Respecting your own deadlines builds self-discipline. And self-discipline is the foundation of success. If you cannot keep your word to yourself, you cannot expect progress. To make deadlines effective, write them down. Do not keep them only in your mind. Put them on paper, on a calendar, or in your planner. When you see the date clearly, it becomes real. It stares back at you, reminding you of your commitment. This visibility creates accountability. If you only keep deadlines in your thoughts, they can disappear as easily as they arrived. Writing them makes them concrete, and concreteness creates pressure to act. Deadlines also teach you to prioritize. When you look at your list of tasks with deadlines, you are forced to decide which ones matter most. Not everything can be urgent. By assigning dates, you separate what is important from what is secondary. This prevents you from wasting energy on trivial tasks while leaving the important ones undone. Prioritization is a key skill, and deadlines are the tool that sharpen it. You might think freedom means no deadlines, but in truth, freedom comes from discipline. When you live without deadlines, your time is stolen by distractions, laziness, and endless postponement. You may feel free in the moment, but in reality, you are trapped by wasted time. When you live with deadlines, you take control. You decide what gets done and when. That discipline creates real freedom, because you are no longer a prisoner of delay. You can rest without guilt because your work is finished. You can enjoy leisure fully because your tasks are complete. Discipline first, freedom after. Another benefit of deadlines is that they train your brain to handle pressure. Life will always give you unexpected challenges that require urgent decisions. If you have trained yourself to meet your own deadlines, you will face these challenges with strength. You will know how to focus, act quickly, and deliver under pressure. People who never practice deadlines fall apart when urgency hits. People who practice deadlines thrive in those moments because pressure is familiar. They are comfortable with urgency, and that gives them an advantage. Deadlines also connect directly to results. Goals without deadlines are only wishes, but when you attach a timeline, the goal turns into a plan, and the plan turns into execution. For example, saying I want to write a book someday is vague and weak. Saying I will finish the first chapter by next Friday is clear and strong. The second statement leads to action. The first does not. If you want results, you must attach timeframes to your intentions. You will also discover that deadlines reveal your true priorities. If you keep delaying a task despite giving it a deadline, it may mean that task is not important to you. This is valuable information. It forces you to ask, is this truly something I want to pursue? If the answer is yes, then you must push yourself harder to meet the deadline. If the answer is no, then stop pretending and remove it from your list. Either way, deadlines give you clarity about what deserves your effort. It is also wise to break big goals into smaller deadlines. A large project can feel overwhelming, but if you divide it into pieces with specific dates, it becomes manageable. Each small deadline creates progress, and progress builds momentum. Before long, the big goal is complete. Without small deadlines, large goals often remain untouched because they feel too heavy. Divide, schedule, and complete step by step. That is how mountains are climbed, one step at a time, each with its own deadline. Accountability strengthens deadlines even more. Share them with someone you trust. Tell a friend, a mentor, or a colleague when you plan to finish. This external accountability doubles the pressure, making it harder to delay. You do not want to lose credibility with someone else, so you push yourself to meet the deadline. Over time, you may not need external accountability because your own self-discipline becomes strong enough, but in the beginning, it helps to have someone watching. Remember, endless delay steals not only your time, but also your confidence. Each time you delay, you send yourself the message that you cannot be trusted to finish. Each time you meet a deadline, you send yourself the message that you are disciplined, reliable, and capable. Which message do you want to live with? Your self-image is shaped by how you handle these small commitments. Respect deadlines, and you will respect yourself. At the end of the day, setting deadlines is about taking control of your life. It is about refusing to let time slip away unnoticed. It is about giving structure to your goals and urgency to your actions. Success is not built on vague promises of someday. It is built on clear commitments of this day. If you want to stop living in delay, start living with deadlines. Set them, respect them, and complete them. That simple discipline will change the pace of your progress and the strength of your future.
Chapter 7. Invest time in health
because energy drives success. Your health is the foundation of everything you hope to achieve in life. Without energy, even the best plans remain unfinished. Without strength, even the greatest ideas stay trapped in your head. Too many people sacrifice their health in the pursuit of success, but in doing so, they destroy the very tool that makes success possible. If you want to reach your goals, you must invest time in your health every single day, because energy is what drives action, and action is what creates results. Think about the people who work long hours, chasing wealth, while ignoring their body. They skip meals, eat poorly, neglect exercise, and sleep less than they need. For a while they may push through, but eventually the body sends the bill. Fatigue sets in, focus declines, sickness appears, and productivity crashes. What they thought was progress turns into decline. The truth is simple: your body is not a machine you can abuse without consequence. It is the engine that fuels every decision, every conversation, and every task. When you take care of it, it rewards you with strength. When you neglect it, it punishes you with weakness. Investing time in health means being intentional about the choices you make each day. It means giving attention to what you eat, how much you move, and the quality of your rest. It is not about perfection. You do not need to be an athlete or follow extreme rules. What matters is consistency. Small daily investments in your health compound into extraordinary energy over time. A 30-minute walk, a balanced meal, a full night of rest. These simple actions build reserves of energy that support your goals. Ignoring them drains you slowly until you no longer have the capacity to succeed. Consider what happens when you eat poorly. Heavy foods leave you sluggish, sugar spikes crash your energy, and processed meals dull your focus. Now compare that to eating nutrient-rich foods that fuel your brain and body. The difference is not just physical, it is mental. Your thoughts are sharper, your mood is better, and your motivation is higher. Food is not only about taste, it is about performance. Each meal is a decision about whether you will have the energy to pursue your goals or the fatigue to avoid them. Movement is another essential part of investing in health. Your body was designed to move, not to sit still for hours each day. When you exercise, even in simple ways, your body rewards you with strength, stamina, and mental clarity. You release tension, reduce stress, and boost your focus. You do not need hours in the gym to gain these benefits. Even short, consistent exercise creates lasting change. The key is to treat movement as a non-negotiable part of your schedule. Just as you plan meetings and tasks, plan your activity. Protect it, because protecting your body means protecting your success. Rest is equally important. Many people treat sleep as wasted time, but it is the opposite. Sleep is when your body repairs, your mind resets, and your energy restored. Without it, your decisions are poor, your mood unstable, and your productivity weak. Skipping sleep for work is like refusing to refuel your car because you are in a hurry. You may keep moving for a short distance, but soon you stop altogether. The wise understand that sleep is an investment, not a cost. Protect your rest, and you will operate at your best. Health also impacts your confidence. When you feel strong, you carry yourself differently. You speak with more power, you act with more certainty, and you present yourself with more authority. Others can sense when you have energy and discipline. It inspires respect. But when you neglect your health, fatigue shows in your eyes, your voice, and your posture. You cannot hide it. People notice, and it weakens their perception of you. Success in life is not only about what you achieve, it is also about how you present yourself. Strong health projects strength, and strength attracts opportunity. There is also a deeper psychological truth. When you invest in your health, you are telling yourself that you are worth the effort. You are proving through action that you value your own life. This builds self-respect, and self-respect is the foundation of discipline. When you take care of your body, you build the mental belief that you can take care of your goals as well. Neglecting health is often a sign of neglecting yourself. Caring for health is a sign of valuing yourself. Some may argue they do not have time to invest in health, but what they really mean is they do not prioritize it. The time they spend scrolling, watching, or procrastinating could be redirected into cooking a healthy meal, walking outside, or sleeping earlier. You cannot say you do not have time while wasting hours each day on distraction. The truth is, investing in health saves time. When your energy is high, you work faster, think clearer, and achieve more in less time. Health is not a cost to productivity, it is the source of productivity. The long-term consequences of ignoring health are serious. Poor habits today become illness tomorrow. Weak choices today become limitations tomorrow. Imagine having the talent and ambition to succeed, but losing the chance because your body cannot keep up. Success without health is failure in disguise. What good is wealth if you cannot enjoy it? What good is achievement if you do not have the strength to live it? True success includes energy, vitality, and longevity. That requires daily investment in health. Investing in health also brings joy. Feeling strong allows you to participate fully in life. You can travel, play with your children, build your dreams, and experience new opportunities without being held back by fatigue. Good health is not only about avoiding sickness, it is about maximizing life. Energy gives you freedom to experience more, contribute more, and create more. Without it, even simple tasks feel heavy. With it, even big challenges feel possible. The discipline of health is not about quick fixes, it is about habits. Drinking water instead of soda, walking instead of sitting, cooking instead of ordering junk, sleeping instead of staying up with screen. These choices repeated daily shape your energy more than any single extreme effort. Do not look for miracles, build routines. The person who consistently makes small, healthy choices wins over the person who looks for shortcuts. Another truth to remember is that energy is contagious. When you invest in health, your energy affects those around you. Your family feels it, your coworkers notice it, and your friends are inspired by it. People want to be near energy because it uplifts them. By taking care of yourself, you not only improve your own life, but also become a source of strength for others. Neglecting your health does the opposite. It drags others down with your fatigue and negativity. You have a responsibility to bring energy to your relationships, and that starts with taking care of yourself. Think about your future self. 10 years from now, will you thank yourself for the choices you made today? If you invest in health, the answer will be yes. You will thank yourself for having the strength, vitality, and freedom to live fully. If you neglect health, the answer will be no. You will regret the lost energy, the preventable sickness, and the wasted potential. The future is shaped by what you do daily. Each workout, each meal, each night of sleep is a vote for the kind of life you will live. Investing in health is also a powerful example for others. Your children, your family, your friends, they are watching how you live. If they see you neglect health, they learn neglect. If they see you value health, they learn discipline. By taking care of yourself, you show others that health is not optional, but essential. You give them a standard to follow, and that influence may change their lives as well. At the deepest level, remember that health is life. Without it, nothing else matters. You can have wealth, recognition, and success, but if you lack health, it is all empty. With health, you have the foundation to pursue everything else. It is not something to consider after success, it is the key to success itself. Energy drives achievement, and achievement fuels fulfillment. This is why investing in health must be a non-negotiable part of your journey. Your body is your most valuable asset. Protect it, strengthen it, and respect it. Make time each day to eat well, move often, and rest fully. See it as part of your work, not separate from it. Because without energy, there is no work, and without health, there is no success. Start now. Begin with one habit, build another, and keep adding until caring for your health is as natural as breathing. The reward is not only years added to your life, but life added to your years. That is the true wealth you can never replace.
Chapter 8. Choose weekly goals that actually move life forward. Progress is not built in random bursts of energy. Progress is built through consistent, deliberate steps in the right direction. Too many people spend their weeks busy but not effective. They run from task to task. They fill their days with noise, and at the end of the week they look back and realize nothing truly important has changed. If you want to move life forward, you must learn to choose weekly goals that matter. Not long lists that overwhelm you. Not vague dreams that you cannot measure. Clear, focused weekly goals that make a real difference in your future. The psychology of achievement shows us that the human mind performs better with shorter timelines. Big goals feel intimidating when you see them as one large mountain, but when you break them down into weekly steps, they become manageable. Each week becomes a chance to win, and those weekly wins add up. Think of how much progress you would make if every week ended with something real completed, something that pushed your life ahead. In 1 year, that would be over 50 victories stacked together. That is how lives are transformed. Not in one moment of luck, but in the consistent discipline of weekly progress. Choosing weekly goals wisely requires honesty. You cannot just write down anything and hope it counts. You must ask, will this goal actually move me closer to the life I want? If the answer is no, then it does not belong on your list. Many people choose goals that keep them busy but not effective. They focus on minor tasks, safe actions, and easy wins. But growth comes from choosing goals that challenge you, that stretch you, that make a visible impact. A weekly goal should feel important enough that completing it gives you pride and momentum. Each week, set aside time to plan. Look at your long-term vision and ask yourself, what can I do this week to get closer? Do not try to do everything at once. Pick 2 or 3 meaningful goals. Maybe it is finishing a project that has been waiting. Maybe it is learning a new skill that strengthens your future. Maybe it is reaching out to someone who can open opportunities. The key is relevance. Each goal must connect directly to your larger purpose. If it does not, it is a distraction dressed as productivity. When you choose weekly goals, make them specific. Work on fitness is vague. Exercise for 30 minutes 4 times this week is specific. Improve finances is vague. Save $100 by cutting unnecessary expenses this week is specific. Specific goals give your mind clarity and remove excuses. You know exactly what to do, and you can measure whether it was done. The brain needs that clarity to focus. Without it, your goals dissolve into wishful thinking. Weekly goals also build discipline because they create regular accountability. At the end of the week, you can ask, did I do what I said I would do? If yes, celebrate the progress. If no, confront the truth and adjust. This weekly accountability is powerful because it prevents drift. Too many people only reflect once a year when they make resolutions. By then, 12 months have passed with little progress. Weekly reflection keeps you honest in real time. You do not wait until the year is gone to notice you wasted it. You correct your course every 7 days. The beauty of weekly goals is how they balance urgency with patience. A week is short enough to create urgency. You cannot delay endlessly.
but it is also long enough to allow meaningful work. You can make visible progress in a week, whether in your health, career, or personal life. This balance is why weekly goals are so effective. They give you deadlines without overwhelming you. They give you focus without suffocating you. They give you progress without waiting years to feel it. Another truth about weekly goals is that they train your decision-making. When you decide what matters for the next 7 days, you are forced to separate the essential from the trivial. This practice builds clarity. Over time, you become better at knowing what is truly important and what only looks important. That clarity saves you from wasting energy on things that do not matter. It sharpens your ability to invest time where it produces results. This is one of the greatest benefits of weekly goal setting. It teaches you how to focus your life on what counts. Your weekly goals should also cover different areas of your life. Success is not only career or wealth, it is health, relationships, personal growth, and contribution. If you set weekly goals only in one area, you may grow there but neglect the rest. Balance your goals so you are building a strong, complete life. For example, one weekly goal for your health, one for your career, one for personal learning. 3 focused goals are better than 10 scattered ones. Each week, you strengthen the key areas of your life together. The emotional impact of completing weekly goals is huge. Every time you finish one, you feel progress, you see results. That builds confidence, and confidence fuels further action. This cycle keeps you motivated because you are not waiting years to see improvement. You see it every week. Progress is the strongest motivator, and weekly goals give you that progress consistently. Without them, you may feel stuck, even if you are busy. With them, you feel alive, because each week has purpose and achievement. Some will say they already have goals, but ask them to show their weekly plan, and most cannot. Having vague long-term goals is not enough. Without breaking them down into weekly steps, they remain far away. For example, if your long-term goal is to get in shape, your weekly goal might be to complete 3 workouts and prepare healthy meals. If your long-term goal is to build a business, your weekly goal might be to contact 5 potential clients. The weekly level is where the dream turns into action. Without it, the dream dies in delay. It is also important to review your weekly goals at the end of each week. Reflection closes the loop. Ask yourself, what did I accomplish, what did I miss, and why? If you missed a goal, do not hide from it, learn from it. Maybe the goal was too vague, maybe you set too many at once, maybe you lacked focus. Adjust for the next week. Each reflection makes you sharper. Over time, you get better at choosing goals you can actually achieve, and that efficiency accelerates your growth. Another advantage of weekly goals is that they give structure to your days. Instead of waking up wondering what to do, you already know the direction. Each day becomes a step toward completing your weekly commitments. This prevents wasted mornings and confused afternoons. Your time is directed, not scattered. Even when unexpected events happen, your weekly goals guide you back to focus. They are the anchor that keeps you steady in the storm of distractions. You may wonder, how many weekly goals are best? The answer is few but meaningful. 2 or 3 is enough. More than that dilutes your focus. The human brain handles limited priorities well, but when you overload it, nothing gets done properly. Choose the goals that matter most and commit to them fully. At the end of the week, completing 3 meaningful goals is far more powerful than half finishing 10. Over time, the practice of setting and achieving weekly goals transforms your identity. You stop seeing yourself as someone who only wishes or talks about change. You begin to see yourself as someone who acts, someone who delivers, someone who creates progress consistently. That shift in identity is priceless. It changes how you view yourself and how others view you. People respect those who produce results, and weekly goals make you that person. This discipline also protects you from procrastination. When you have a weekly deadline, you cannot delay endlessly. You know you must face the result within days, not years. This urgency forces you to move, even when you do not feel like it. Motivation is not always present, but discipline makes sure progress happens anyway. Weekly goals create discipline by shortening the gap between intention and accountability. At the deepest level, choosing weekly goals is about respecting your life. Each week is a piece of your limited time on earth. You cannot get it back once it is gone. Do not spend it in confusion or delay. Spend it on what matters. If you choose wisely each week, your life as a whole will move in the right direction. The weeks add up, and they form the story of your life. That story will either be one of wasted time or one of consistent growth. The choice is made 1 week at a time. So do not let another week slip away in busyness without progress. Sit down, choose your goals carefully, and commit to them fully. Make sure they are specific, meaningful, and connected to your larger vision. At the end of the week, look back and measure your progress. Then repeat the process again. With each week, you will see yourself moving forward steadily. That is how you build momentum. That is how you turn ordinary weeks into extraordinary results.
Chapter 9. Spend quiet minutes reflecting on mistakes and lessons. Every person makes mistakes, but not every person learns from them. That is the difference between those who grow stronger and those who keep repeating the same errors year after year. If you want your life to move forward, you must create time for reflection. You must sit in quiet moments and review what went wrong, what you missed, and what you can do better next time. Mistakes are teachers, but they only teach those who are willing to listen. If you ignore them, you stay stuck. If you reflect on them, you gain wisdom that cannot be learned from books or advice alone. When the day is busy and full of noise, there is no space to process experiences. That is why reflection must happen in quiet minutes. It is not about long hours, it is about stillness and honesty. Even 10 minutes at the end of the day can make a difference. You close your eyes, think about what happened, and ask yourself real questions. Did I speak when I should have listened? Did I waste time on things that did not matter? Did I make a decision out of fear instead of strength? These questions cut through the noise and reveal the truth. The power of reflection is that it transforms pain into progress. A mistake that is left unexamined becomes regret, but a mistake that is studied becomes a lesson. For example, if you failed at a task because you delayed too long, the lesson is urgency. If you lost an opportunity because you were unprepared, the lesson is preparation. If you damaged a relationship because of careless words, the lesson is self-control. Each lesson is valuable because it equips you with better tools for the future. The mistake is no longer just a failure, it becomes part of your education. Reflection requires honesty, and honesty is not always easy. Many people avoid it because it forces them to face their weaknesses. They distract themselves with entertainment, noise, or endless activity, so they do not have to think about where they fell short. But growth demands honesty. You must be willing to look at your mistakes directly, without excuses, without blame, without denial. Only then can you learn from them. Reflection is not about guilt, it is about responsibility. You are not punishing yourself for errors, you are studying them so you do not repeat them. The best time for reflection is when the day is quiet, when the world slows down and your thoughts are clear. For some this is early morning, for others it is late at night. The important thing is consistency. Make it a daily habit, just as you would brush your teeth or prepare your clothes. Prepare your mind by reviewing the lessons of the day. This discipline ensures that every mistake is turned into improvement instead of becoming wasted pain.
Spending quiet minutes reflecting also builds self-awareness. You begin to see patterns in your behavior. Maybe you notice you often procrastinate when tasks feel uncomfortable. Maybe you realize you react harshly when stressed. Maybe you see that you repeat the same spending habits that harm your finances. These patterns are invisible when you are caught in the rush of the day, but they become clear when you reflect. Once you see them, you can change them. Without reflection, you keep living the same cycles without understanding why. Reflection also strengthens your decision-making. When you review past choices, you begin to see what worked and what failed. You carry those lessons forward, and your future decisions become sharper. You no longer walk into situations blindly because you carry the wisdom of your own history. This is one of the greatest advantages of reflection. You do not need to keep repeating mistakes to learn from them. You extract the lesson once and then apply it for life. That saves you years of wasted time. Another benefit is emotional balance. Mistakes can weigh heavily on the mind, creating guilt and frustration. If you do not process them, they remain inside you like a burden. Reflection allows you to release them. You acknowledge the mistake, learn the lesson, and then let it go. This prevents you from carrying yesterday's failures into tomorrow. You walk lighter, freer, and more focused. Without this, mistakes pile up and create self-doubt. With it, mistakes become stepping stones, and your confidence grows. Quiet reflection also develops humility. It reminds you that you are not perfect, and that is fine. Everyone makes errors. What matters is whether you learn from them. This humility keeps you grounded, open to feedback, and willing to change. Arrogance refuses to reflect. Wisdom embraces it. The strongest people are not those who never fail, but those who study their failures carefully and rise stronger each time. Reflection builds that strength. Think about the value of keeping a simple journal for your reflections. Writing your thoughts forces clarity. You see the mistake on paper, and you write the lesson beside it. Over time you build a record of growth. When you look back months later, you see how far you have come. You see how many mistakes you have transformed into wisdom. This practice is powerful because it turns your private struggles into a visible path of progress. Reflection should not only focus on mistakes, it should also highlight lessons from successes. Ask yourself, what did I do right today? What decision helped me move forward? How can I repeat this behavior tomorrow? This balances your perspective. You do not only see what to avoid, you also see what to continue. Both sides matter. By reflecting on mistakes and lessons, you shape a balanced understanding of your journey. In the rush of life, people rarely stop to think. They move from one problem to the next, from one day to the next, and they wonder why nothing changes. The answer is clear. They never take time to learn. They repeat the same behaviors because they never studied them. Do not let your life become a cycle of repeated mistakes. Break the cycle with reflection. 10 quiet minutes each day can save you from 10 years of regret. Reflection also improves relationship. When you review your interactions, you may notice moments where you could have spoken with more patience, listened more carefully, or shown more respect. By catching these mistakes quickly, you can correct them before they grow into bigger conflict. Reflection makes you more aware of how your actions affect others, and that awareness strengthens connections. It helps you build relationships based on growth, instead of repeated misunderstandings. This practice also trains your focus on what matters. When you reflect, you see how much of your time was wasted on trivial things. You notice where you were distracted, where you followed habits that did not serve you. This awareness motivates you to use tomorrow more wisely. Reflection is the mirror that shows you how you live. Sometimes the mirror is uncomfortable, but it is necessary. Without it, you walk through life unaware of how you look. With it, you see the truth and make adjustments. The emotional strength that comes from reflection cannot be overstated. Life will always bring mistakes. You cannot avoid them, but when you know you will reflect on them, they lose their power to control you. You no longer fear mistakes, because you know they will become lessons. This mindset gives you courage to act, to take risks, to pursue opportunities. Without reflection, mistakes create fear. With reflection, mistakes create growth. That is a complete transformation in how you live. Imagine the compound effect of reflecting daily for years. Each day you gather lessons, each week you grow wiser, each month you improve decisions, and each year you transform your character. That is how leaders are built. That is how wisdom is created, not by living longer, but by learning deeper. Some people live many years, but repeat the same mistakes. Others live fewer years, but reflect consistently, and they grow beyond their age. The difference is reflection. If you want to move your life forward, do not just seek more information from the outside. Seek more understanding from the inside. Your own mistakes are your greatest teacher, but only if you take time to listen. Schedule quiet minutes. Protect them as you would protect an important meeting. During those minutes, reflect with honesty, write with clarity, and commit to applying the lessons. This discipline may seem small, but it will change the direction of your life. Every mistake holds a lesson. Every lesson holds the power to shape your future. The question is whether you will take the time to see it. Quiet reflection is not a luxury. It is a necessity. Without it, you waste your experiences. With it, you turn every experience into growth. That is the path of discipline, wisdom, and true success.
Chapter 10. Protect evenings for rest, so tomorrow becomes stronger. The strength of tomorrow is decided tonight. Too many people spend their evenings in ways that weaken their next day. They stay up late with endless entertainment. They eat poorly. They scroll until their eyes hurt, and then they wonder why they wake up tired, unfocused and unmotivated. If you want your mornings to be strong, you must guard your evenings. Protect them because they are the foundation of the day that follows. Success is not only about what you do in the morning or during work hours, it is also about how you close your day. The habits you practice before you sleep either build tomorrow or break it. Human psychology makes this clear. The brain processes the events of the day at night. If you end your evening in chaos, stress or distraction, your mind carries that into your sleep. You toss and turn, you wake up exhausted, and you begin the next day already behind. But when you close the day with rest, calm and intentional preparation, your brain resets properly. You sleep deeply, your energy renews, and you wake up ready to move. Protecting evenings is not just about sleep. It is about protecting the entire system of your body and mind. Rest is not laziness. Rest is a strategy. Without it, your body and mind break down. Athletes understand this well. They train hard, but they also recover deliberately. Business leaders, creators, and high achievers need the same principle. The harder you work during the day, the more you must honor your evenings. You cannot keep borrowing energy from tomorrow without paying it back. The payment is always fatigue, stress, and eventually burnout. Protecting your evenings is how you protect your energy, and energy is the currency of success. To guard your evenings, you must first create boundaries. Decide at what time you will begin slowing down. Decide when work ends, when screens are set aside, and when your focus shifts to rest. Without boundaries, the evening gets consumed by endless tasks or distractions. One email leads to another, one video leads to 10 more, and suddenly midnight has arrived. The next morning, you pay the price. Boundaries are not restrictions, they are protection. They ensure you have the discipline to stop before exhaustion steals tomorrow's strength. It is also wise to develop evening rituals that signal to your body and mind that the day is closing. This could be something simple: reading a few pages of a book, writing in a journal, practicing gratitude,
or preparing your plan for tomorrow. These rituals calm the mind and prepare you for rest. They replace the noise of the world with intentional quiet. Without them, the mind stays busy, and busy minds do not rest. A strong evening routine is like a bridge between the chaos of the day and the calm of the night. Cross it, and tomorrow welcomes you with clarity. The food you eat in the evening also matters. Heavy, unhealthy meals make your body work overtime during the night. Instead of resting, it struggles to digest. This weakens the quality of your sleep and steals your energy. Choose light, balanced meals that support recovery, not ones that drain you. What you drink matters too. Too much caffeine late in the day or alcohol at night will leave you restless. Protect your evenings by fueling your body wisely. What you consume will decide how deeply you rest and how strongly you wake. One of the greatest enemies of evening rest is technology. Screens flood your mind with stimulation and light that tricks your brain into staying awake. Hours disappear quickly in meaningless scrolling or endless shows. You may think you are relaxing, but you are actually exhausting your focus. True rest comes from quiet, not constant stimulation. If you want to protect your evenings, set limits on screen use. Choose activities that calm you instead of keeping you wired. Read, reflect, or spend time in meaningful conversation. Replace noise with stillness, and your body will reward you with deeper rest. Protecting evenings is also about letting go of the day. Many people carry stress from work into the night. They replay arguments, mistakes, or unfinished tasks in their mind. This steals their peace and keeps them awake. You must develop the discipline of closing the day. Tell yourself, today is done, tomorrow I will continue. Write down unfinished tasks, so your mind does not have to hold them. Release the tension, so your body can recover. The discipline of letting go is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself at night. There is also power in reflection during the evening. Spend a few quiet minutes asking yourself, what did I learn today? What progress did I make? What will I improve tomorrow? This short reflection clears your thoughts and gives meaning to the day. It ensures that even mistakes become lessons, not burdens. Reflection at night sharpens your direction for tomorrow. It is a small practice with a massive impact on clarity and growth. Another important part of protecting evenings is honoring sleep itself. Many people treat sleep as optional, something to cut when life is busy. But every hour of lost sleep reduces focus, weakens memory, and lowers productivity. It is not just about quantity, it is about quality. Create an environment that supports rest. A dark, quiet, and cool room, a consistent sleep schedule, a body and mind that are calm before bed. These details may seem small, but together they determine how much energy you will have tomorrow. Neglect them, and you begin every day at a disadvantage. Protecting evenings also means protecting relationships. When you use the evening for endless work or distraction, you steal time from the people you care about. Use part of your evenings to connect with family or close friends. Share conversations, laugh, or simply spend time together. These connections strengthen your emotional health, and emotional health is just as important as physical health. A balanced evening includes not only rest, but also relationships. It is about recharging, not just the body, but also the heart. When you develop the habit of protecting evenings, you notice the difference immediately. You wake up refreshed instead of exhausted. You begin the day with clarity instead of confusion. You carry more energy, more focus, and more discipline. This changes how you work, how you think, and how you live. The people who fail to protect their evenings spend every day trying to catch up. The people who protect their evenings begin each day ahead. That difference compounds over time into extraordinary results. You must also guard your evenings against unnecessary obligations. Learn to say no to events, commitments, or activities that drain you late at night. Your time is valuable. Protect it for what truly matters: rest, relationships, and preparation. Do not trade your energy for temporary distractions. The discipline to say no is what allows you to say yes to strength tomorrow. Protecting your evenings is not selfish, it is wise. It is how you ensure that you have the energy to give your best to the next day. The principle is simple but powerful. If you want stronger mornings, you must have disciplined evenings. The cycle of success does not start when you wake, it starts when you close your day. Each evening is an opportunity to reset, recharge, and prepare. If you use it wisely, you create tomorrow's strength. If you waste it, you create tomorrow's weakness. Every choice you make at night is a vote for the kind of day you will have next. Imagine how your life would change if you ended every evening with purpose. Imagine going to bed calm, organized, and rested. Imagine waking up with clarity, energy, and motivation. That transformation is within your control. It does not require talent, luck, or resources. It requires discipline. The discipline to protect your evenings, to respect rest, and to prepare for tomorrow. Small daily choices that create a powerful long-term difference. In the end, protecting your evenings is about respect. Respect for your body, respect for your mind, respect for your future. Success is not built only during the day. It is built at night when you give yourself the gift of recovery. Do not treat evenings as wasted hours. Treat them as the foundation of your strength. Guard them carefully, use them wisely, and you will live with more energy, more focus, and more success.